Okay, let's jump straight into a truly luminous chapter today, Isaiah, chapter 60.
Ah, yes. A fantastic one.
This chapter, it just opens with this electrifying command, doesn't it? A call that cuts through everything. Arise, shine, for your light has come.
It really does grab your attention immediately, especially when you consider the context it paints right after that call.
It is.
Well, the text says, darkness covers the earth and thick darkness is over the peoples. So the starting point isn't one of light at all. It's, deep gloom, pervasive obscurity for the world.
Right, so you have this global darkness and then this very specific focused command to arise and shine.
Mm,
And the reason given for being able to shine is critical here. It's not some internally generated light, is it?
no, not at all. It's explicitly because the glory of the Lord rises upon you, and his glory appears over you. It's a bestowed light, a divine radiance landing on this particular people.
Yeah, a divine gift. And the effect of that divine light isn't limited just to the people themselves, right?
Yeah, exactly. The vision states that because this light is visible, because the Lord's glory is manifest, nations will come to your light, and kings to the brightness of your dawn.
So the light transforms the recipient into a kind of beacon.
Precisely, drawing others in from all that surrounding darkness.
Okay, so for our deep dive today, the mission seems pretty clear. We need to unpack this extraordinary vision laid out in Isaiah 60.
It's dense, definitely, packed with powerful imagery and profound promises.
Yeah, we want to understand what this complete transformation from darkness to this overwhelming glory actually depicts. Explore the layers of meaning in these rich symbols, and maybe grasp why this promise would have felt so incredibly significant.
Sounds good. Let's maybe unpack this vision piece by piece.
Makes sense. Where do we start after the call to shine?
Well, the prophecy immediately turns to this picture of ingathering. The command shifts slightly to lift up your eyes and look about you.
Okay, look around. And what do they see?
The sight that brings such wonder is all assemble and come to you, your sons come from afar, and your daughters are carried on the arm. It's this vision of a global reunion, the scattered people finally returning home.
Wow, and the emotional response to this reunion?
Yeah.
It's not glossed over, is it?
Not at all. The text describes a really profound, almost physical reaction. Then you will look and be radiant. Your heart will throb and swell with joy.
Think about that. I mean, seeing those who are lost or exiled or separated just returning from every direction,
Yeah.
that moment of homecoming brings this, well, overwhelming sense of joy, so intense, it felt physically, causing the heart to actually expand.
It's not just relief, it's radiant, swelling joy. A very powerful description.
So beyond the return of the people, the vision then includes this astonishing influx of material wealth.
Yes, it does. It describes the wealth on the seas being brought and specifically the riches of the nations flowing in.
This isn't just like general prosperity, then. It sounds more like a transfer of global resources.
It does. And it gets incredibly specific, painting these vivid pictures of the incoming abundance.
Like what?
You read things like, herds of camels will cover your land, young camels of Midian and Ephah. Now, these were regions known for caravans and trade.
Right.
Then, all from Sheba will come bearing gold and incense. Sheba, of course, synonymous with luxury goods, distant trade routes.
Right.
You also get, all Kedar's flocks will be gathered to you, and the rams of Nebaioth will serve you. These are pastoral resources, specific tribes known for their livestock in the surrounding areas.
So it highlights that the wealth comes from really diverse sources.
Yeah.
Mercantile, pastoral, far, near.
Exactly. It's comprehensive.
And what's really crucial, as you hinted at, is the purpose behind this massive influx of wealth and livestock. It's not just about getting rich for its own sake, is it?
No, the text makes that very clear. These resources will be accepted as offerings on my altar, and I will adorn my glorious temple.
Ah, so the bounty of the nations is actually consecrated, directed towards worship, towards beautifying God's dwelling place.
Precisely. It elevates the entire picture. Material blessing is tied directly to glorifying the divine. It's not just accumulating stuff.
Okay, now here's where it gets, I think, really interesting and maybe expands the scope even further. The vision isn't just limited to caravans and land routes.
Mm-hmm.
It poses this question about another mode of arrival.
Mm.
Who are these that fly along like clouds, like doves to their nests?
Yes, that's a fascinating image. This question introduces the idea of rapid, maybe even surprising movement, speed.
And the immediate answer points to a different pathway entirely.
Right. Surely the islands look to me. In the lead are the ships of Tarshish. Tarshish is often associated with distant maritime trade, perhaps way out in the Mediterranean.
So this adds a whole other dimension. People and resources aren't just trudging overland, they're arriving swiftly from far across the sea.
Carried on the most powerful vessels known at the time, it suggests a gathering from literally everywhere, even the most remote islands, as the text puts it.
From the ends of the earth. And what are these powerful ships bringing?
The text specifies, bringing your sons from afar with their silver and gold. So again, the returning people are accompanied by valuable resources.
And the ultimate motivation, the driving force behind this long journey and bringing these gifts, it states it clearly, doesn't it?
It does. It's to the honor of the Lord your God, the Holy One of Israel, for he has endowed you with splendor.
That splendor, the glory, the attractiveness that draws nations and brings people home, it's not intrinsic, it's a gift.
A divine endowment from the Holy One of Israel. That's the source.
Okay, so the vision that expands, describing a transformed relationship with external powers, foreign nations.
Yes, it states, foreigners will rebuild your walls and their kings will serve you. Now, this is a dramatic reversal.
How so?
Well, historically, interactions with foreign powers often involved conflict, subjugation, destruction. Think of the context of exile.
Right.
Now, outsiders, even their leaders, their kings, are actively contributing, rebuilding, serving the restored community.
A complete flip. And the reason for this radical shift in how foreign nations interact?
It's rooted entirely in God's action and disposition. Though in anger I struck you, in favor I will show you compassion.
So the past experience of divine judgment, the consequences, they're acknowledged.
Yes, not ignored.
But the future is characterized by God's favor and mercy. And that changes everything externally.
It completely alters the dynamics with the surrounding world. Compassion replaces anger as the defining mode of God's interaction.
In this restored state, being built by foreigners who are serving, it's also marked by what unprecedented security and accessibility.
That's right. The text says, your gates will always stand open. They will never be shut day or night.
Which in the ancient world is unthinkable, right? City gates were shut tight every night for security.
Absolutely. So open gates day and night signify absolute peace. There's simply no threat to fear, but also this constant openness to receive what's coming in.
And the purpose of these perpetually open gates is explicit.
It is, so that men may bring you the wealth of the nations, their kings led in triumphal procession.
That's an interesting phrase, triumphal procession. It's a picture not of being conquered, but of receiving tribute and resources voluntarily.
Exactly. With kings themselves participating and bringing them in, it sort of turns the usual idea of a triumphal procession on its head.
How do you mean?
Usually, it's conquerors leading captives and spoils. Here, it's foreign kings bringing gifts willingly. A procession of honor, not subjugation.
Okay, circling back to that theme of beautification, dedicating resources, the vision also talks about nature's contribution to the sacred space.
Yes, the glory of Lebanon will come to you, the pine, the fir, and the cypress together. Lebanon, of course, was renowned for its magnificent forests, highly valued timber used in building prestigious structures.
Including Solomon's temple originally.
Right, the best materials.
And the goal of bringing these precious trees is specific again, to adorn the place of my sanctuary, and I will glorify the place of my feet.
That phrase, the place of my feet, it's a way of speaking about God's presence on earth, his footstool, as it were.
So the idea is that this very place of divine presence will be glorified, beautified, using the finest natural materials from across the region.
It just emphasizes the centrality and the sacredness of God's dwelling in this future state. Everything is focused there.
The vision also promises a profound reversal in social standing, recognition for the people themselves.
The huge reversal. Those who were once marginal, oppressed, looked down upon. They will see their former adversaries acknowledging their new elevated status.
How's that described?
The sons of your oppressors will come bowing before you. All who despise you will bow down at your feet. It's a really powerful image of vindication and honor.
And this vindication comes with a new identity, a name that signifies their unique relationship with God.
Yes, they will call you the city of the Lord, Zion of the Holy One of Israel. And importantly, this isn't a self-proclaimed title.
It's recognition from the outside world.
Exactly. Acknowledging their distinct, sacred identity as belonging to the Holy One of Israel.
Now, this transformation, it's explicitly contrasted with the past state, isn't it? The chapter doesn't shy away from the former reality.
No, it's very honest. Although you have been forsaken and hated, with no one traveling through, that's the depth of the previous desolation. It was that bad.
But the future promised is the complete opposite.
Totally. I will make you the everlasting pride and the joy of all generations, a permanent state of honor, delight, positive renown, spanning all time.
And the imagery used to describe the resulting abundance and privilege is quite striking.
It is. You will drink the milk of nations and be nursed at royal breasts.
That metaphor, it powerfully suggests receiving sustenance, strength, nourishment, maybe even prestige from the very nations that might have previously harmed or ignored them.
A complete turnaround. And the consequence of experiencing this radical, comprehensive turnaround,
What is it?
a deeper experiential knowledge of God's character and power, then you will know that I, the Lord, am your Savior, your Redeemer, the Mighty One of Jacob.
So the physical and social transformation leads directly to a spiritual revelation.
Yes. Recognizing God as the one who rescues, who buys back, who powerfully acts on their behalf because they've lived through it.
Okay, the theme of abundance continues with description of like a pervasive material upgrade.
Yes, not just new things, but better things replacing the old. Instead of bronze, I will bring you gold, and silver in place of iron. Instead of wood, I will bring you bronze and iron in place of stones.
So it's a picture of elevated quality across the board in construction, tools, everything, moving from common materials to precious, durable ones.
A complete upgrade of the material world. And governing this incredibly blessed and restored state won't be, earthly administrators as they knew them, prone to corruption or failure.
Who governs then?
The text declares, I will make peace your governor and righteousness your ruler.
Peace and righteousness as the actual governors.
Those divine attributes themselves embody the very principles by which the society will be led. Imagine governance defined by perfect justice and perfect tranquility.
Wow. And the consequence of that kind of governance.
Absolute security and tranquility within the borders. No longer will violence be heard in your land, nor ruin or destruction within your borders. The internal state is one of complete safety, wholeness, shalom.
And even the physical structures, the walls and gates, they take on new symbolic names reflecting this state.
They do, but you will call your walls salvation and your gates praise.
So the purpose of the walls isn't just defense anymore.
No, it's a monument to God's saving work, salvation itself.
And the function of the gates isn't just entry.
It's a place of celebration and worship, praise. The very infrastructure declares God's work.
Okay, now, perhaps the most breathtaking image, the one that really elevates this vision beyond any earthly potential, is the source of light described towards the end.
Ah, yes. This moves beyond the natural order we know. The sun will no more be your light by day, nor will the brightness of the moon shine on you.
Which immediately makes you ask, well, what light source could possibly replace the sun and moon? They govern all life and activity on Earth.
And the answer is just astonishing. For the Lord will be your everlasting light, and your God will be your glory.
The divine presence itself becomes the sole, sufficient, eternal source of illumination and honor.
It seems to be presented quite literally, not just metaphorically, as understanding. It actually replaces the need for the celestial bodies.
And the permanence of this divine light means an end to all the cycles and shadows we associate with natural light sunset, moon phases.
And importantly, the darkness of sorrow. Your sun will never set again, and your moon will wane no more. The Lord will be your everlasting light, and your days of sorrow will end.
It promises a state of perpetual day, perpetual presence, and the permanent absence of grief and suffering, just constant light and joy.
And this state of divine light and glory is inhabited by a transformed people. The text states it clearly. Then will all your people be righteouses.
So the internal character of the inhabitants finally matches the external glory of their dwelling.
Yes, it's a wholeness, a transformation from the inside out, no dissonance.
And because they are righteous, dwelling in this glorified place, their possession of the land is absolute and permanent.
And they will possess the land forever. Their very existence becomes a testament to God's work. They are the shoot I have planted, the work of my hands, for the display of my splendor.
They're like living illustrations of God's power, creativity, his magnificent purpose.
That seems to be the idea. And finally, the vision culminates in this promise of exponential, almost miraculous growth and a divine guarantee.
How's the growth described?
Starting small leads to unimaginable scale. The least of you will become 1,000, the smallest a mighty nation. It speaks to a vitality, a fruitfulness that transcends any normal limitations.
And the final declaration from God himself kind of seals the deal.
It does. I am the Lord. In its time, I will do this swiftly. It's God's personal affirmation. He stakes his name on it.
linking the fulfillment to his identity as the sovereign Lord.
And promising that when the appointed time arrives, the unfolding of this glorious vision will be rapid, decisive, swift.
Wow. So our deep dive into Isaiah 60, it's taken us on quite a journey, hasn't it? From a world covered in darkness.
To a state of overwhelming light, glory, peace, abundance, we've seen scattered people return, nations bringing wealth and service.
Walls rebuilt by foreigners, gates perpetually open, materials upgraded from basic to precious.
Governance defined by peace and righteousness itself, and all of it centered around the palpable, visible presence and action of the Lord.
Turning utter desolation into everlasting pride and joy. It really does paint a picture of total restoration, external glory, internal righteousness, universal recognition.
All initiated and sustained by God. It's his project from start to finish.
So thinking about that central image of light, where the sun and moon just aren't needed anymore, because the Lord will be your everlasting light. What does that profound image suggest to you, maybe as a final thought for our listeners, about the ultimate nature of this promised glory?
Well, it points to a reality, doesn't it, where the very source of existence, illumination, security, joy, well-being, it's the direct, unmediated, unending presence of the divine itself. Nothing else required. That's quite something to contemplate.